First of all, y'all are such a hoot, and it's been fun playing with you every day. I'm hoping so much that you and Esther and Jerry are feeling all the love and appreciation and joy that I'm feeling every day with you.
Yeah. Nothing better than situational comedy, is there?
Yes. Yes.
It has such rich context.
Yeah, and it has been absolutely tremendous. Exactly what we've been covering today, not looking at the past, and also learning with you that in order for me to really love people doesn't require me to grieve or focus on that.
We like your choice of words, and we want to clarify something, and then we'll let you take off with where you're going. It isn't only that we think it's a good idea to not look at the past. It's that in not looking, you'll be less likely to not be the past, because you vibrate where you look. So if you're focused into the past, while there are things, it doesn't matter if you're looking past, present, or future, you can find resonance with who you really are. But there's such a tendency in looking back. It's sort of like, you know how when you go home for Easter holiday, we've sort of taken care of that for you. Yeah. When you go home for a holiday, have you ever felt yourself reverting to how you felt when you lived there? Because there's so much around there that reminds you of that. So you're looking there and then activating vibrations there, and then before you know it, being there, and then you find yourself with some of the defensiveness you thought you'd left behind, or some of the insecurity that you thought you'd left behind. This alignment that we talk about all day every day is not like a college degree where once you accomplish it, it's yours forevermore. It either is or isn't in the moment, depending on what's active within you. It doesn't have to be, but so often what's active within you is where you're looking. So that's why daydreaming is a great place to look, because you haven't filled your daydreams in with so many regrets and so forth. So it's just a clearer vibrational path, and you're more likely to meet your inner being on that path than when you look back before you knew you even had an inner being. How about that?
Yeah, and it's so cool because you're helping me to recognize that having fun and being joyful and playing with my puppy or laughing with my beloved, that's where I get to continue connecting with you, and that includes my mom and dad. So many years ago, and I continue to receive very clearly, and I always thought that it was my mom helping me, and
it
now,
is.
Thank you.
It is that too.
And now I realize, she's having a party with y'all, and it's all of you that I'm receiving. I'm really clear when I'm receiving you, when I'm helping or working with others, and I don't seem to have the same clarity when I'm meditating or setting out to be receiving for me.
Well, you see, you just said back to us what we just said to you. It's a clearer space when you're helping others because you don't know so much. Because even though what you're hearing maybe is common, it's not familiar. Familiar, get the connection in the word familiar? It's always easier to give your attention to someone else and be clearer in your energy than when you're focused upon yourself, where you've practiced so many thoughts of something other than clarity. Just play with it. Don't worry about it. It gets easier and easier and easier. In no time at all, you begin to feel invincible. Before you know it, it won't make any difference what you're focused upon. You will be able to feel the direction that is to your greatest advantage to look. If you were to walk into a library or a bookstore with all of those books about all of those subjects, the intensity of just the volume of information could be overwhelming to you unless you know why you went in and what it is you're looking for. And so in this vibrational arena where every thought that's ever been thought still exists, and every belief that anyone holds still exists, and beliefs that you have held before still have some vibrational liveliness within them. It takes focus in order to focus yourself in the direction that is most satisfying. And as many books as we write and as many conversations as we have, the thing that humans have the most difficulty hearing and believing and gravitating toward is that it's good to feel good. If you will let the criteria be how you feel, you'll always go to a clear space. But if you have any other reason than that it will feel good, then you might find a thought that's interesting while it doesn't feel good, or a thought that's a big thought while it doesn't feel good, or a thought that's most advertised on television while it doesn't feel good. There are all kinds of reasons for thoughts to be bigger. So how are you going to set your priorities? How are you going to decide what direction your thoughts are going to go? And the easy way is just to care about how you feel and start noticing what thoughts feel the best, like the puppy or your beloved, and on and on and on, and gravitating in that way. But it requires a little basis of understanding first, like you're not here to prove worthiness. Well, to many that just sounds like so many words, because you're still proving worthiness. You didn't come to give up your influence of source to find the influence of other people. Well, that's just so many words to so many people, because you have really been trying to get the approval of others around you for a very long time, and you just can't all of a sudden say you don't care what others think when you've cared what others think for a very long time. So we're not asking you not to care what others think. We're just asking you to care more about how you feel, which means we're asking you to care more about what your inner being thinks, and not about everything in the world. You couldn't even contemplate that. We're just asking you to care more about what your inner being thinks about what you're thinking about right now than anything else. That's all. That's all you need to care about, is what does my inner being think about what I'm thinking about right now? And your emotions will tell you whether you're on the right track of what your inner being is thinking or whether you're not. It's so simple, you see, when you live in the moment.
Yeah, first, like you just said, it is so phenomenal and so crazy that just like, yeah, I'm here to feel good. Like, that was just so mind-blowing for me to help me switch.
When you think about your puppy, or when you think about your children, or you think about anybody that you care about, do you want anything bigger than just wanting them to thrive, to feel good? Isn't that what you wish? Isn't it logical that that's what your inner being would want for you?
It totally is, and for so long.
And since your inner being wants it for you and knows right where the best feeling thoughts are, then doesn't it feel logical that your inner being is guiding you toward those best feeling thoughts and adventures and life experiences and evolution?
Yeah, it totally does.
Yeah.
Thank you. And like the gentleman earlier, my practice of self-soothing has been just tremendous. Like, when I find myself like...
Those are brilliant and beautiful words, and let's exaggerate them. My practice of self-soothing means my practice of tuning into my source self. You think your inner being would ever do anything other than soothe you? When you do your best to find something that soothes you, aren't you tuning into source? Isn't it a cycle? Isn't it the same thing? I wonder what my inner being is thinking about me right now. It's a good question. Wonder what my inner being is thinking about me right now. Or what am I thinking about my inner being right now? You can flip it either way. Well, I'm thinking about my inner being thinking about me. And I'm thinking about my inner being thinking about me and liking what my inner being sees as my inner being thinks about me. And I like thinking about my inner being thinking about me and liking what my inner being thinks about me, because my inner being likes me. And when my inner being is focused upon me, my inner being likes what they're thinking about when they're thinking about me. And if I'm focused upon my inner being who likes me when they're thinking about me, and I'm focused upon my inner being who is thinking about me, then I might be thinking about me. And if I feel good, then I might be thinking about me in the way my inner being is thinking about me, and I might like me. That's soothing. That's soothing.
And what that has helped with is moving like up and up and up, relief, relief, relief. And then the current or recent word satisfaction that Esther is using, that's really helping me to do that forward-looking, and feeling, and combined with the not giving a rip.
As this experience together moves forward over the next hour and then again tomorrow, we will have opportunity together to discuss situations where you may be standing and help you to find soothing thoughts. If you can isolate where you are by demonstrating through brief stories about where you stand, what you always do, and this is why you want to do it, when you focus upon where you are, you not only activate where you are, you activate where your inner being sees you, or you activate yourself as your inner being sees you. So by talking about where you are, both aspects of you light up, and law of attraction begins to respond to both aspects, which means the law of attraction is responding to your desires about where you are, which, by the way, your inner being's already there, and what your beliefs are about where you are. And there's nothing better than this active gap or playing field or creative field between where you are in terms of what you believe about what you want. Can you feel the powerful focus that that is? And under those focused and dynamic, meaning can change second by second by second by second, it's possible that you will actually feel viscerally the movement. You may, if you want to, you may feel old unhelpful beliefs falling away while new beneficial beliefs take their place. Don't you think that's deliberate creation at its best? And when you're consciously witnessing that or consciously experiencing it within yourself, you never go back from that. We talk a lot, and we know we sound confident to you because we are. But until you have felt energy, movement, improvement within yourself, it's just so many words. But when you feel energy, movement, improvement within yourselves, then that feeling of hopefulness turns to solid belief, and that feeling of solid belief turns to absolute knowing and a sort of feeling of invincibility. That's really what this leading edge conversation is about. We've had all the conversations about the law of attraction, and you know about step 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. You understand the basis of this creation, but don't you think a practical application of it in real time and real feeling terms would be beneficial? Don't you want to leave here knowing how to synthesize energy on purpose, how to recognize it, how to identify it, how to isolate it, how to define from what you've been living recently what it is you prefer? Wouldn't you like to focus in the direction of what you prefer? Wouldn't you really like to leave unnecessary and unwanted and resistant aspects of the past behind? We think it's a good idea. This is a good time for a segment of refreshment.